All right. Yes, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, now my cat image isn't there. That's good. All right. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, if I want to know what code works, turn your inspector on and hover. So now I see I have this HTML code that says, again, opening bracket, IMG, that stands for image, SRC, that is talking about where the source is. And then it says dog JPEG. Then it says alt dog jumping. And what it wants us to do is to make the image, this JPEG of this cat, to appear under the heading of cats. Okay. So in order to do that, I'm going to go after my heading. I'm going to hit enter a couple of times just to give me space to work with. All right. So I am just going to copy that same code, but I'm going to put in a different file. So what is that going to look like? Well, we're going to open and close. I always start with that. Now, what do I need? I'm looking at the codes from lines 10 and 11 for the dog. And I'm going to go IMG, which is going to be an image, SRC, which is going to call up a certain file. And the SRC that I want is the cat JPEG. Once I do that, I see my cat thing pop up. Now, if let's say I made a mistake in my code, sometimes if you've ever been onto a website and sometimes like you can't actually see the images, but there's like words there. ALT equals cat looking. So if somebody wasn't to be able to actually see that, these are the words that would appear. So again, if I turn on my inspector, if I hover over that, now I can see highlighted in the work area the code that has created that cat image to appear. All right. Issues or questions on bubble number 1? All right, we move forward. Okay, giving credit. So remember when we did last week, we looked at the licensing of of images. So that's what this one is going. Oh, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to reload my page because this is going to drive me crazy. So whenever you use an image that comes off the internet, you have to give credit. Like that's just how it. That's why we did the whole lesson on the Creative Commons, where we said that the buys and the not commercial and no derivatives and things like that. That's why we did it, so that we could figure out how to do proper attributions. All right, so it says add information about where the image came from. The image was found at Pixabay and was uploaded by user Alexa's Photos for free for commercial use and no attribution required license. Okay, cool. I don't know why my cat image isn't here, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and add them back in. IMG SRC equals cat JPEG ALT equals cat looking. All right, so there is my cat. Now notice underneath the dog, again, I'm turning my inspector on. I have this right here in the paragraph, and it says who created it, where I found it, and the licensing that is available. So I'm going to do that same thing under the cat. So again, I'm going to create, oops, let me undo that. mean to delete the body tag, but that's okay. I'll just put it back in. All right. So at the end of line 17, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter a couple times just to give myself some space to work. And I now want to put my attributions in. So I'm going to do this as a paragraph. And I always like to do my opening and closing tags at the same time because I am one of those people that always forgets to do things. So I like to do my opening and closing at the same time, that way I don't forget to do it later. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my instructions, and it says it was uploaded by Alexa Photos and it was free for commercial use, no attribution required. So it's free for use, no attribution. So basically, that is the most liberal of all of the Creative Commons licenses. So who did this? Alexa's underscore photos, comma, Pixabay, spelled wrong, and it's just under Creative Commons license. So just double check that. Alexa's photos with a F, not a PH. Pixabay, okay, and free for commercial use, no attribution. So that's just a Creative Commons license. Awesome. So now, if I refresh and save, I should be able to see that under my cat. And there it is. Alexa's photos, Pixabay, Creative Commons. Okay? So again, I'm adding HTML to create these things to pop in. We'll go ahead and hit finish. Cool. All right, so details matter. The SRC attribute needs to point to the exact file name of an image you want to use. This means that you need to pay very close attention to spelling, capitalization, and the file extension. Each of the 3 images on this page is broken because of an improper SRC attribute. Do this using the file menus for reference. Fix each of the image tags. When you are finished, each image should display correctly in the web page preview. All right. So obviously there are supposed to be some pictures here, and I'm not seeing any of them. So that means I need to fix my code. All right. So let's start with the red sky. It says src red.jpg. Well, if I go into here, I can see that red.jpg is not the name of my file. Red_sky is the name of my file. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Red_sky.jpg. And once I fix my SRC attribute, the picture appears. Awesome. All right, let's see if we can fix the green one. It says image, and again, I'm on line 12 now. SRC grass.jpg. And if I'm looking over here in my files, I have my HTML file, my CSS file, and my image files. Grass.jpg, the JPEG part is capitalized. Over here in the code, it is underscore, or it's lowercase. So I am going to change that to JPEG large. And the minute I do, image appears. So what is the point of this, ladies and gentlemen? You have to be very, very careful with your file names on your SRC command. All right, finally, I have Blue Islands. All right, it says BLU.jpg. All right, so they just misspelled the word blue because blue is obviously spelled BLUE.jpg. I'm going to come here to line 15. I'm going to add the letter E in the word blue, and just like that, my image appears. So again, the purpose of this bubble, ladies and gentlemen, is to call attention to the fact that you do need to be very careful with spelling, capitalization. It has to match exactly to your file names. Issues or questions? All right, hearing none. Go ahead and hit finish on that. All right, so it says choosing a good name. It is important for images to have good names, ones that are easily understood and use characters that are good for links. This project's image names have some problems. Do this. For each image, fix the name according to the following rules. These are rules for naming your files. Avoid special characters, the ampersand, question mark, percentages, slashes, parentheses, etc. So avoid characters for your file names. Make sure the name has a specific meaning that helps you understand what the image is. We look at this top one, a bunch of numbers. That doesn't help me. I have no idea what that image is going to be. Use dashes or underscores instead of spaces. So in other words, don't have spaces in your file names. Keep the names that are short. Keep the names as short as possible that still have a clear meaning. And then choose your favorite image and add it to the web page. Don't forget the attribution. So these are all of the images that we could pick to add to our web page. Okay. And I'm going to choose to add in like two of them just so we have two examples to look at. First of all, let's see what this guy is. Ooh, he is actually really pretty, but that is a really stupid file name, like 1565 1248 51451.jpg doesn't tell me anything about what this is. It's stupid and it's long. All right, so I can hover over the name of this file. I can do a right click and I can rename it. And for this one, I am going to call him Tree Frog. Tree_frog.jpg. Awesome. It's short, sweet, and to the point. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, the name of this thing is axlewalkingfish.jpg. Now, notice it has the what's it called? The parentheses in it. We want to get rid of those because they might not make my file work correctly. So again, I'm going to right click on the name of the file. I'm going to rename it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to delete off all this other random stuff. And maybe I'm just going to leave the name as walking fish. Because now it makes sense. There's a dash, there's no spaces, there's no special characters. It's short enough where it makes sense to me. Awesome. All right, and there it is. All right, Fire Salamander. Let's see what's going on with this guy's name. Rename this file. Oh, okay, I have an exclamation point. I'm not exactly sure why. So I'm just going to get rid of that. There's no spaces. There's no special characters now. Perfect. Fire Salamander works. Canny Bushfrog. Okay, so there's a couple things happening here. There's a space, so I need to get rid of that. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just do an underscore instead. Canny Bushfrog. Again, no spaces, no special characters. And then my last one, let's see, rename. Okay, this is just a hot mess. Let me get here. Paratype of a paraffin, blah blah blah. That what? No. Rename, and I'm going to call this Tiny Frog because that's what it is. It's a tiny frog because that frog seems to fit on a dime. All right, cool. So I have fixed all of the names of my files to stuff that makes sense. Awesome. I am going to go back to my HTML file and I am going to add in Now, for your directions, it says you only need to do one. I'm going to choose to do two so that you guys can see me do it 2 times. Again, open and close. That's just a habit that I have, just because that is just how I like to do things. Let me get rid of the instructions real quick so you can see the screen more easily. All right, on line 8, I am going to add my what's it called? I was going to do Tiny Frog because he was just really cute. Oops. IMG for image space SRC to call it up quote. Sorry, SRC equals. My bad. And then I want Tiny Frog. Enter ALT equals Tiny Frog. Now, on your alternate text, you can use whatever you want because it's just text. All right. So that is done. I've created the image, and now I need to do my attribution. I have to say where I got it from. So again, that is going to be done in paragraph form under the image. Like I said, I always like to do all of my opening and closing tags at the same time for any HTML element, just because I tend to be forgetful. All right, so I need to look at the file to figure out, so where did that one come from? Ritmer, Allison. Okay. I'm going to just copy and paste this because that's a lot to type. All right, there it is. So there it is. I have the people who created it, where it came from, and what the licensing agreement is. Now, again, for the purposes of the class, if you were doing this, this would be sufficient, but I want to do one more. So again, to load an image, once you have the files set up in the left-handmost portion of your work area, you are going to go IMG space SRC equals, I don't know, let's do the tree frog. He was pretty. Enter ALT equals tree frog. Okay. And now that I have the image created, I need to have my attribution. Again, I'm just going to copy and paste it from up here. Again, it's always going to be creator, where you got it from, what kind of licensing does it have. So again, I'm going to need a paragraph. I like to do my closing paragraph immediately so I don't forget to do it. And now I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in. So I have my creator, James Carey Balboa, where I found it, Wikipedia Commons, what is the licensing? In this case, it happens to be public domain. All right. So again, we can see that I have loaded images. I have my attributions. Perfect. And we go ahead and hit finish. All right. So previously we were working with, let me start over on this one. Oh, no, that's from today. All right, cool. It says you can upload images that you found elsewhere using the Add Image button. Go find an image of a different type of pet that you like and download it to your computer using the right-click Save As. Once you have your image, click Add Image and upload the image from your computer to your project where you can then use it as an image. All right, cool. So how do we do this? I'm going to go ahead and open up another tab. And all right, so we have cats and dogs. What's another really good pet, guys? Anybody? Good pet besides cats and dogs? Anybody at all?
A bird.
A bird. Okay, cool. So let's go with bird. And remember, when we're doing an image search, we want to go into images. We want to go to tools. And I want to go to usage rights, Creative Commons licenses. This is going to be the stuff that I can use freely without getting sued. Super important. All right. And, ooh, that one's pretty. I don't know if that's necessarily a pet. Ooh, parrots make good pets. There we go. Awesome. So I am going to, oh, here we go. So cute. Anyways, kind of like birds. Anyways, so let's go ahead and do this guy. Why not? The white parrot. Awesome. So, how you are going to do this, you are going to go ahead and do a right click, save image as. Now, you will have a dialog thing pop up. This is a stupid name for this file. Change the name. All right. I'm going to make this go onto my desktop. That's fine. And I'm going to call it parrot. Why? Because that makes sense. It's a simple name that then I can find quite easily. So I'm going to go ahead and hit, it's just called parrot. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. It's there. Awesome. And I need to figure out what my licensing agreement is so I can come on. Oh, here he is. Okay. Where are we? Usplash. And it doesn't have an author. Oh, there we go. Photo by Magna V on Usplash. Cool. Awesome. So, going back to my image, I am going to add image right here. Add image. Upload file. On my desktop, I'm going to look for my file name, which I named Parrot. There it is, right there. Open. Awesome. So now my parrot image has been loaded. Now I just have to create the code to make it pop up. Let me get rid of this. Underneath cats, I'm going to just kind of recreate all of this. So I'm going to go to heading 3. And our new list is bird. And then I want to create the image of the bird. And I'm going to kind of scroll this down so you guys can see. See, there's bird. IMG space SRC equals parrot. There it is. Enter ALT. ALT equals parrot. Okay. Close the image tag. Hopefully it appeared. Yep, it's really big, but that's okay. We'll learn how to size later. And then I now need to do my attribution. Paragraph. Close paragraph. Literally forgot that quickly. Magna V on Usplash. Copy to clipboard, because why not? Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Ooh, did not mean to do all that. Magda V. And where'd we find it? Usplash. And there was no restrictions on it, so it's just a Creative Commons license. That's it. Okay, so now there it is. Magna V, Usplash, Creative Commons, and finish. So now we know how to add an image, we know how to attribute an image properly, and we know how to upload an image. Ladies and gentlemen, your job is going to complete A through G. And of course, your job is also going to be doing Bubble 7, which is going to be using images to make your web page more personal. Maybe you would upload a picture of yourself or something from your phone. Nothing that gives away too much information. You guys all know that. And then bubble number 8 is entirely optional. If you want to know extra code, height and width, like this is where you're going to learn. Actually, no, let's make a the only one you have to do on bubble 8 is letter A. B and C will be optional. But if you are at all interested in animation, you may want to check out B. All right, cool beans. So we have done 1 through 5. Your job is to finish up 6 and 7 and 8. And on 8, you must do A. And then I invite you to check out B and C as well. All right, let me stop here.